Hello everyone, how is everyone doing? And we are back for Sunday night. Um, so let's get through some of the comments. Hi Mark, you made it. Yep. Hiya Jay, hang on. Yeah, hi Jay. Yeah, everything's good and well here. Yeah, all nice. And evening to you, John, as well. So I just want to. I was watching Mark's video, and I thought I want to stick it in a little bit. Hi D, how's it going? Hi DS Models and Neil, how's it all going? All the crew is here. Oh yes. Um, yeah. So I just wanna clarify some things before we go in terms of delivery and stuff like that. Now I am not praising Eagle Moss in the slightest, but I understand the frustration with not having it when you should. Basically, I work in logistics, obviously, and I can tell you now it's a mess. Even though a lot of people might think that the pandemic's over and stuff like that. In terms of logistics, it's not. In fact, it's got worse because on the 1st of January, new rules came in at the borders, meaning meaning on both ends, both in Europe and in the UK, there's now more checks. So stuff's taking longer to get through. Also, as well, nothing comes through on trucks to the UK from Eagle Moss. Everything is done on a boat in containers, and we all know that there's a massive logistical problem at the moment with containers. China still has a lack of containers and ships because they're all in different locations. We've got more empty containers here in the UK than anywhere else in the world, but we haven't got the ships to put them on. And talking to the bosses I work with and everything else, they reckon that sort of thing it's going to take at least 2 years to sort out. Meaning delivery problems are going to be a pain in the head. So I sort of understand. It's frustrating because we want to build these. Of course we do. We want our models. We pay for the models each month, and they should turn up, right? I'm not disputing that, but what I am saying is that there can be a little bit. They can be more open. Let's put it that way. They can turn around and go, look, stuff isn't here. We can't give you anything if it's not here, and that is frustrating for us. Maybe because of the work I work in, I see it a little bit differently. But yeah, I just thought I'd make that sort of assumption because I'm getting my enterprises, and we've been told they've got up to issue 16. Now they don't use trucks to get all this stuff through. I mean, they're ordering thousands, tens of thousands of these issues, which means that they can't come on the plane or a truck, and they're coming from China. So they go on a boat, and it's the slow boat from China. So it's frustrating. Of course, it is for us. Look, when something don't turn up, you go, ugh. But for the next 2 years, it's going to be like this for a long time. Eagle Moss are taking a bad hit with this at the moment, actually, because there's a lot of things they had on pre-order, and you must have seen the updates. They've pushed them right back. Stuff that was supposed to be out now, they can't even guarantee in March. It's that bad. Also, as well, I found out that their Titanic starts shipping out at the end of this month, I believe. For anyone who signed up for their Titanic. I was actually I want to come on to Titanic. Before I do that, I want to say hi to Dave and Mark. Yeah, so I just wanted to. It's frustrating because we want our stuff. The thing is, as well, you see a lot of people. I've said this many times, and it's really difficult to do. And I know sometimes you can't do the models you want when they first come out, but I always say it's one of my golden rules. do the build as soon as it comes out. If you do it later on, you tend to run into problems like people are having with, mostly people are having with DeLorean, and that is due to them not where they've run out of certain issues but haven't others, and everything's done on stock levels, and then they've got to replace issues. So if you have 10 issues and you've got say 8 people buying them, now if they have a faulty one, it means they have to take it out of that pile. That's 2 left. So if 2 people out of that 8 get faulty ones, they get the 2, then there's none left. Then it's on the slow boat from China for 4 months. That is why everything's taking so long, and that is why certain issues are out of stock more than others. It's a weird thing, and Eagle Moss's system doesn't allow them to skip anything. Though there is lots of things coming up at the minute for Eagle Moss, in regards to things, so that I think they're moving to the UK. So at the moment, their big warehouse or their main warehouse is in Germany. I believe they used to have one here in the UK. It's bigger. It was cheaper in Germany. Then Brexit hit. Everyone thought it would be the same. It wasn't. Even though everyone was warned, it was never going to be the same. I think people waited too long. Eagle Moss waited too long. They've now realised, and I believe that they're moving to a warehouse, or having another warehouse back here in the UK, which means issues will be easier sent out, and they can track it, and they can send you tracking numbers through raw mail. At the moment, they can't do that. So there's that sort of stuff coming. Hi, Mark. I am good. How are you, sir? Andy as well. Hi, Mr. Fusion there. I've been recovering from very ill in hospital with COVID. Sorry to hear about that. Yeah, I hope you're on the mend. Yes, it's crazy on logistics. I had a parcel took 5 weeks from Italy. At the moment, it's bad, and it's going to get worse because, like I said, because the logistics changed. So there's now more checks on the borders than there was. There was a grace period for a year, and that ended on the 1st. So on the 1st, more checks come in, which means it's going to probably become worse, because what they tend to do is prioritize perishable items and stuff like that, which means if your magazines come off, and then tomatoes and straw, they're going to prioritize them before the magazines. Then another lorry comes in with the same stuff. Your magazine container is going to get pushed right to the back, and that is just the way it is. I am very well, yes. Hi, Chris. How's everything going? Yeah, so I just wanted to point that out. Also, as well, I wanted to talk about also as well. Mark brought up another message. Aren't we saying hi again? Yeah, I want to point out with Hachette now. News agents are always ahead of subscribers in that sort of thing. So yeah. Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, I can see there's quite a few people watching tonight. It's good. All good. Yep. Yeah. So there's so with Hachette, it's always been news agents are normally ahead by a month normally. Now the reason is because subscribers, they get 4 issues a month. Yeah. So you get every 4 weeks you get your issues. Now you always get your issues, but some months have 5 weeks in a month, which means it makes news agents ahead. And obviously, as you go along like that, it means by the end of the build, news agents are normally 4 weeks, so 2 month subscription boxes ahead. What happened with the Terminator and what happened with the Spitfire was that we had lockdowns and they had dispatch problems. So it meant that the news agents were getting them every 2 weeks instead of every week. But subscribers weren't affected, and they were still getting theirs monthly, which meant they obviously went further ahead. With the Terminator, it worked out perfectly because by the end, everything has sorted itself out. And people at newsagents got the last issue, and then I think a day or a couple of days later, people got their subscription for the last box for that sort of thing. And I think that's what happens with the Spitfire at the moment. I think they're Mark said you're a month ahead, 4 issues ahead. And that is because they took a gap, so it's obviously bounced along. That will probably sort itself out before the end. So, yeah. Oh no, we've done that one. Hi Burgers, how's it all going? Yeah, all good here. I'm just gonna move that camera around. Yeah, so the Bismarck, Titanic. What sort of talking point? I'll tell you what, this has got so much talking point. We've only had one issue. I'm with you, Mark, on this as well. It's worrying, isn't it? It's the first issue, and it's worrying. It's missing lots of detail on here. What I can say though is the Eagle Moss version is smaller, is missing details, but not as much as this one. Also, as well, on the metal hull, we've got the portholes. Now they're just coloured in normally. They should. I reckon you need to drill them out to light them up because they're lit up on quite a lot of the models that I've seen. Because that would be like third class and all that sort of stuff, and crew quarters and stuff like that were in those sections, and you still would have had little windows. So I don't know if someone's going to paint them or drill them out. But that's another thing. Also, as well, a lot of people commented on the red, and I'm no Titanic expert, not in the slightest. You know, I've watched the film and I've watched documentaries and stuff like that, and but I'm not really into it. But I did do a little bit of research, and I found quite a bit out just by looking and asking. So, no one. We're in 2022 and no one knows what colour certain stuff was on the Titanic, even now. Someone actually mentioned on my video when I painted it, can't someone just look at the ship on the floor? Well, paint comes off in the water, it degrades, it goes rusty, you can't tell what colour it was. So a lot of colours are based on Olympic, should I say Olympia? So you had Titanic, Britannic, and Olympia, and they changed stuff all the time. Another thing that came up as well. So Titanic had obviously the propellers had 3 propellers. The 2 outer propellers were 3 blades, but the one in the middle was 4th. And on the blueprints, it was a 3 propeller bladed propeller to get more speed up. And there is pictures actually of Titanic in dry dock with the 4 propeller system. Yeah, like you, yeah, it's definitely your interpretation. So some people will say that these the rigging masts here are silver. In some places, I've seen them sort of the racing the dark green. On the film, the Titanic film, this was a sort of a red orange color, and these were sort of green. Though a lot of detail on that James Cameron did and stuff like that, they changed it from Olympia, and even like the staircase and all that. So when some people have created the staircase and stuff like that, actually they've used blueprints from Olympia, and then they found out it was actually different on Titanic. I think when they built this ship, they thought, oh, it's going to be around for years. We don't need to know what the top color was and stuff like that. And then it sank. And the only reference we had were the 2 other ones, but obviously a lot was changed from Olympic. Yeah, Olympic. We had Britannic as well, and Titanic. They all sank. But yeah, it was just it's your interpretation. There's so much that you could do, and you can just go, well, this is how I think of it. Mark was saying the same thing. This is how you. Lots of them. There's a lot of discussion even today, 2022. People still don't know or can decide on colours for the Titanic. Certain bits we definitely know, but other bits weren't. And blueprints don't tell you the colour. And some people went off the colour that, because Olympic and Titanic were so similar, a lot of people went off Olympic because there's more pictures of her than there was of Titanic. Like I said, they never thought she was going to sink on her maiden voyage like she did. But yeah, it's your interpretation. So I did it red. I've seen some people do it metallic. I've seen it orange. No one knows. But I did it red, and it looks okay. But yeah, it is worrying considering this is only issue 1 and it's fairly inaccurate. Like I said, there's a lot of detail missing off the top here and stuff. But remember, it's a museum piece. So, like I said, if I was building it, I probably wouldn't have painted it. I like leaving all of my builds sort of stock, if you know what I mean. So, you know, yeah, it did, and they still can't tell whether Titanic had the 4-blade middle propeller or the 3-blade, even with it sank on the bottom of the sea floor. The 2 outer ones were definitely 3, but they wanted to know the main middle one, and some people have said it's 4. The Hachette version is 3, so some people are saying that's already wrong because it should be 4. There's pictures of it in dry dock with the 4, but some people said that it was swapped out beforehand. It is what it is. Like you said, it is interpretation. But yeah. Also, as well. Yep, that is completely right, D. Yep. It's your model. I leave all my models standard. Loads of people go in and change stuff and make. It's your model. You do what you want with it. I think personally we pay a lot for these models as it is, and then you don't want to really go in and pay more and more. Your price just keeps going up. Yeah, it did. Yeah, but it was based. They were all based on each other. Britannic obviously massively changed because of the war and became a hospital ship. It'd be interesting to see if someone. I know Dave Say is doing Olympic. It'd be interesting if anyone does Britannic. Right, too, with the colours. It could be. But I think it's safe to say it wasn't white. But like I said, a lot of this stuff, I've seen a lot of people oiling up the decking and stuff like that. Now, I personally wouldn't have done that because this ship was brand new. It was on its maiden voyage. Everything would have been absolute pristine with it, clean as anything. No, still not. No. All I know, all I keep getting told is when it's ready, they'll let us know. That's all I keep getting told. All we've got to do is wait. With logistical problems, that might have caused problems. Like I said, there may be licensing issues with it. We had that with the Terminator as well, and that put like 5 months extra onto it because they had licensing issues with it coming out. So that could be a problem there through licensing. I was playing that before coming on. Also, as well, I found out there's 2 new builds coming out, or part work, should I say? Yeah. There's 2 new part works I've seen coming out. The first one is the Disney Dollhouse one. Now my wife's seen it. It's been out a few times. I think it's been out at least 3 times. At least. It was tested at the end of 2021. I think Mark mentioned it. I think it was around September time. It's being released. The website's already up. I think it either comes out this week or next week in the newsagents. My wife said she would love to build it, so we're going to build it on the channel. My wife's going to come and help me do it. And the other one is a D'Agostini Publishing one. So it's the first one I've seen from D'Agostini Publishing, and it is the American Muscle Car Collection. So it's their sort of little cars that they do with the glass cabinets over the top. So yeah, I'm building it Olympic, and Christine's building Titanic, as they were built in. Yeah, the 2 sister ships were built together. Britannic came later on. In fact, I think when Titanic sank, Britannic was still being built, wasn't it? And by the time it was finished, war had broken out and it was retrofitted as a hospital ship, which I believe sank in shallow waters, if I remember rightly. So my wife's going to build that for our youngest, so that's going to come on the channel. It's a little bit different because I've never seen it. I've seen some videos on it, but not many, and we're going to do each issue as it comes out in the newsagents. Something a little bit different for the channel. So I'm going to be doing that. The muscle one, I don't know. Now, the Agostini used to bring out in newsagents. I don't know if they are, but if they do, that will be out in the newsagents. So yeah, it's American muscle cars. It's already come out in France, and the website's already up. It's all the way over on my Facebook page. So if you want to go and check that out, I think the first one is a Ford Mustang. What else could it be? I mean, everything's a Mustang at the moment, but I think that's the first issue. And I think it's $1.99 or something like that. And I think issue 2 is a Camaro, the Bumblebee Camaro from the first Transformers movie, if anyone remembers that. Yeah, and it sort of sank in shallow sea, if I remember rightly. I can't remember now. Like I said, I've seen all the sort of documentaries years and years ago, but I do remember it, Burgess. I think it was So it hit a mine and then listed, but it didn't sink completely, did it? Because I don't think it was in shallow water. Am I correct there, or was that Olympic? I remember one of them. Tragic, really. Yeah. Hi, first time watching. Hiya. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, I'll be. So my wife's going to be building that on the channel. I'll probably pick up issue 1 of the American Muscle Car just to have a look if it comes out in the newsagents. If not, I won't bother. But that is the new ones coming out. I would imagine over the next 3 months. Hi Alex, how's it all going, mate? Yeah, it's all going good here. I would imagine over the next 3 or 4 months there's going to be lots of part works coming out. We know in May we're going to get the Batmobile. All I know at the moment that it's on the way here from China. So it's on that slow boat that's coming with everything else. Yeah. But yeah, in regards to Eagle Moss as well, they had an account thing, didn't they, where you could check your account and all that, and they took it away. I'm on the understanding that by April it will be back, and it's going to be exactly like the fan home portal. So you'll be able to go in, you'll be able to track every single one of your deliveries. It will tell you what's next, what's coming next. And there's going to be other stuff on there as well, newsletters, all that sort of stuff will go into there. But as far as I know, it's coming this year, and I was told around April time, and it's going to be in the Eagle Moss portal, and you can keep hold of everything there. So Olympic was scrapped in 1945. It never sank. Right, yeah. Speaking of the Agostini, I finally got put seats in my 911. Oh yeah, finally. I saw the video. But yeah, this is the first one from the Agostini Publishings. So the new merged company that they talked about. I don't know what's happening with Model Space. I know everyone's up in arms. My personal feeling on the Model Space situation is that they've lost everything. They've lost account details. They've lost everything, and I think it's going to be a mess. Let's put it that way, an absolute mess. The slow boat from China might be saying in reverse. I think it is. I think it's going the opposite way. It must be. Hashtag has a good portal to monitor your subscriptions. Yeah, I think the best one though is the fan home one. It tells you, it breaks down the consignments and stuff like that. Eagle Moss looked at it and thought, we could do something like that, and I know it's coming. But you'll be able to track everything. So you can go on there, see what parcels, when you received them, when they were sent out, the tracking info's on there, what's in the packet as well, what's missing. There'll also be a point, I believe, on there when I asked, there's going to be a bit on there where you can, where they'll be able to contact you to say that stuff's in and out of stock, and there'll be loads of other little bits on there. But it is coming back, and it's supposed to be really good. So hopefully that's good. by March, they're going to be another warehouse in the UK. So that once again, that's also a good thing as well. Because when I spoke to the person at Eagle Moss, they said they're having a warehouse in the UK, and by using a UK warehouse, it means they can provide tracking info, which they can't. They can't. They have the tracking info for Germany. Once it hits the UK, they don't know. So yeah, and it also means that they don't have to pay the customs like they do at the minute on consignments coming in and through the UK and stuff like that. Because I've been told that the shipping costs are absolutely killing Egos at the minute. So that's why there's a price increase on some stuff. But there's a price increase at the moment on all part works. It's just hit the Alien build and my Robocop as well. Yeah, so, if you're a patron or a member of the channel, you would have seen those videos. There's going to be more coming at the end of the month. So keep an eye out. I've got up to issue 15 of the Robocop, and they're riveting at the moment. I can't get enough of them. I'm with Jay on this one. With the amount of money you spend and the parts that you get, you kind of go, wow. But when it all comes together, you do a double take. You go, wow, even that. It's the same with the Alien. Actually, the parts that you get, the little boxes and stuff like that, you kind of think, well, that's not a lot. But then when you start building it together, it layers and it all comes together really in the end, and you get big parts and stuff like that. So it all works out in the end. Only company I've dealt with for years, probably. Yeah, Hachette are really, Hachette are not just part works. They do. They're a publishing company, so they do books, and 90% of books in shops and that are published by Hachette. So they have a big thing. Terminator was like that, yeah. Ooh, you got it one day via DHL, nice, and they haven't charged. Yeah, that happens with my I don't know really. I should. So I pay for obviously I pay for all my subscriptions, but the Enterprise one arrives at my house the day I pay for it, or the day the money comes out of the account. And I've had it before here, and then the money for it comes out the day after it's already been delivered. Apparently that's to do with the direct debit, because they charge it, but the money doesn't actually leave your account for, I think it's 4 or 5 days, at which point you've already got it. And that's what happens with me. So I get my Enterprise parts, and then either the day I get them or a couple of days after, they then take the money for that part. So I'm like getting my parts before I pay. Good, innit? Gotta go. All right, John, take it easy. Agree with you. The MF with D'Agostino was pretty much good, but I have no issues regarding considering a build if I run by. Yeah, I think most part works get through that at one stage. Yeah, of course they do. Yeah, yeah. But it's the world of part works, isn't it? It's a mystery. Some of it is a complete mystery. So, hi everyone. Hi, how are you? But yeah, so yeah, I can't believe that after all this time, we're still debating on colouring for the Titanic. But yeah, like Mark said, it's your interpretation of that. So you sort of have to sit there and sort of just go, okay, this is what I think it's going to be. Someone said that there wasn't any red on Titanic, but once again, you don't know this. No one knows. I think there's certain things we can guarantee they are, certain colours and stuff like that. Oh yeah, as well. I've done issue 1, and I've got the magazine here. I don't know if I've got it here. Yeah. Yes, I have. Yeah. And I thought issue 3 was sort of more parts. Issue 3 is actually part of the engine. It's the start of the engine. It comes with the motor and stuff like that. I don't know where it is. I'm sure I see it somewhere. Also, as well, it's worth noting that for the next, I think it's for the next 10 issues, the Titanic comes out every 2 weeks. But in France, it's coming out every week. So now they're already at issue ahead. I think issue 3 comes out this week, and issue 2 comes out this week here. But issue 3 in France comes out this week. I blame the glitch in the Matrix too, Andy. Yeah, definitely. Oh, is it a smoke generator? Oh, is that what it is? Do you know what? I'm trying to find it here, but I can't find it. It's going to be interesting because obviously the smoke generator needs filling up with water. Yeah, that's going to be interesting thing, isn't it? I can't find it. Do you know what? I can't even find issue 3. I'm sure I saw a picture of issue 3 somewhere. Do you know what? I think it was here. Yeah. So is that the smoke? Is that the smoke generator? There, all these compartments here are for building the engine, and is this part of the smoke thing? Smoke generator then? Oh, interesting. So I'm gonna watch people build it. But yeah, it's just not me. Space and everything. I mentioned it many times. It's on the website. Oh, is it? I'm so out of the loop on certain things. I'm so out of the loop on. But yeah, I think there's a couple of builds. I think coming. The American Muscle Car part work that's coming out from D'Agostini Publishings is their first one this year. But I've got a funny feeling they're going to release a couple of their part work vehicles. I don't know what, but I would imagine some of them might come out. Like I said, at the moment, I don't know whether they are coming out in the newsagents or whether it's just subscribe only. You can subscribe to it at the minute. So yeah, there's that, and obviously the Disney Dollhouse thing. That's going to be quite different, I think, for the channel. Because, like I said, I don't think a lot of people will be doing it. So it's going to be an interesting one. But that is due out, like I said, this week or next. That would make the second part work for Hachette this year. And I would imagine the Alien will get out this year. If not, it's going to be. I'm surprised it hasn't. If you know what I mean. Only to issue 2 video I've seen was the French one with the awkward thumbnail. What was that? What was that on the Was that on the Titanic? Oh yeah. You sent me it. Yeah. Yeah. It had some of the thumbnail had the picture of Titanic like this, and then another one right in front of it like it was crashing. But yeah, if you go on the French Titanic sites, lots of people have got issue 2 already. So over in France, it's coming out every week. Over here, it's coming out every 2 weeks, up to issue 10. So that will push the date further. So it's more or less definitely longer than a 3-year build now, because that will just push it along. Because that's coming out every 2 weeks, newsagents, I believe subscribers, though I don't believe anyone who subscribed to it has got it yet, but I think subscribers will be, they should be a month or 2 ahead than the people from the newsagents by issue 10. But like I said, that normally works itself out because, like I said, you get every 4 weeks you get a delivery, but some months there are 5. So it also works out that 1 month you pay at the start and then you pay at the end of the month, and you get the boxes there and then, if you know what I mean. All because of the way it all works with how they're coming out. I've got a funny thing. It's to do with getting issues in, that they've chosen to do it every 2 weeks instead of every week. So yeah. Hogwarts Express will come this year from Hachette. Robocop from Fan Home. Speaking of the Mustang build, wondering which company will bring it out. The John Wick Mustang. Long. Yeah. Another Mustang. Robocop, yeah. If the trend carries on like it always does, Then Robocop will be up to issue 40, around issue 40. So that will be September, October, November time. That is when they tend to release it through Fan Home. That's what they've done with the Knight Rider. The Alien, do you know, I'm really surprised they haven't even tested it here, but they never test run this. So there's a possibility they could just bring it straight out. I would imagine it would be this year. But by March, the Alien build in France will be past issue 50. Issue 40 is out this week in France. So yeah, it'll be halfway through the build because it's only 100 issues. Hogwarts Express, it's definitely coming. It did. I do know it's definitely coming. They keep telling me it is, but they just don't give me a date. And it done in the test run. It done better than the Eddie Stobart. So you know, it's all sort of like, yeah. When does the Dollhouse get released? The Disney Dollhouse. The website is already up. That's normally an indication that it's out imminently. Like I said, the website's already up. You can also already subscribe to it. It's on my Facebook page and Twitter as well. And yeah, and the advert is already on YouTube as well. So I would imagine it will probably be this week or next it comes out. But keep an eye on the channel and everything. Once I see it in the newsagents, I'm going to grab it and we'll get it from the newsagents. But I'll let everyone know, and then obviously we'll be building it live on the channel. So I'm waiting for the next IXO part work. Heard something and it's quite tempting. Ooh, what's that then? What have you heard? Is it the NSX? Because that was teased last year at the Toy Fair. We're still waiting for it. I still believe that is due out. So yeah, IXO seem to be doing more modern cars. Though saying that, they've just done the Amazon car, didn't they? Is it the what is it? Is it the Volvo Amazon or something like that? That's a very old car. It's a no from me. But yeah, also actually speaking of IXO, so I looked into this a little bit. They are having logistical problems as well, like massive logistical problems like everywhere else. But they're keeping people in the loop, which is really good. But yeah, I know some people have been not receiving stuff or have receiving stuff. They said they don't know when the next delivery or the boxes of your orders are going to be out, but they're going to keep everyone in the loop. So yeah, when you look at it like, you know, Eagle Moss and Hachette having problems, everywhere's having problems. So yeah, brilliant. Thank you. That's fine. That's all there. Not the NSX, but that's tempting too. What is it then? Come on, spill the beans. You have to tell us. Amazon, my lovely classic cars. Yeah, the Volvo Amazon. Right now, I think that is coming out as a full kit. If I'm not mistaken, I just have to move this a minute because otherwise I'll tell him off. If I'm not mistaken, is there an option to get it as a subscription? Because when I went on the website, Jay, it said for the whole kit because I believe it's been out before. It's not for me, but I know Jay, you love your old cars. But I don't ever remember seeing Amazons over here. I don't think it was a car that we saw over here. Though I was a 90s kid, so, or, you know, late 80s, 90s kid. So I grew up with things like Cortinas and Granadas and stuff like that. It's a full kit. Yeah, I thought they only offered it as a full kit. Big bucks. Yeah, turned out okay for me. Also, as well, talking about the IXO, so they've gone into partnership with Agora, and because they've got the problems now at the borders, and they've got logistical problems getting issues in, because of the new rules that came into place on the 1st of January, IXO are now charging more money for postage. So before, I think postage was free. And I think I've seen people said that they've had to pay like £40 extra for the IXO models for delivery because of all the checks and they've having to pay out more. Um, so yeah, so what I'm trying to say is, uh, go with Agora. IXO are further ahead, but Agora will be cheaper for people here in the UK. And can't believe I'm saying that because Agora are quite expensive. Capri, yeah, yeah, lime green. Be nice for a Ford to come out, Mark 1 or 2. I think if they've done the Peugeot now, if they done an XR2i, which was my wife's very first car, we'd have to get that, a Ford XR2i, and it has to be the R2i. So the XR, the original one, no, XR2i, yeah, that was the second gen one. I think it's Mark 2. Um, if they did that, I'd have to get it. Yeah. Obviously, if they did a Cosworth, a Sierra Cosworth, four-door Sierra Cosworth, that would be a nice one to do as well. But yeah, I'd like them to get into that sort of, so them do more sort of modern cars, if you know what I mean. They've done modern trucks before, like I said, they've done the Peugeot, but I've not really seen any more moderny sort of ones, if you know what I mean. The Volvo Amazon was sold in the UK. Was it? I've not. Do you know what? I'm probably showing my age. I never ever saw one really. I had an XR2 and loved it. My wife loved her XR2i. It clocked itself, so the mileometer on it went 000 all the way along. She clocked it. She loved it, but obviously needs must, and sold it and everything else. She regrets it to this day, but she also loves the cars that we've had since. So RS 500 is a death for me. Yeah, yeah, anything like that. Why don't they look these part works? If they're going to release cars, yeah, stop doing the Mustang. Yeah, get in and do some of these other sort of modern classics. I know as well that they've done things like the Lancia Delta, which is a good one. They've never re-released it. I know they've done it as a part work, and the same with the Scooby. So the Subaru Impreza, the rally, the Colin McRae rally version. Now they've brought that out before. Once again, they've never re-released it. So there's options there for these companies to come in and go, oh, I'll do that. So yeah, XR2 piece prices are through the roof now. Yeah, like gold dust. I mean, yeah, car prices in general are through the roof at the minute. It's unbelievable. I remember I could go out and buy a car for like tax and MOT for £300 or £400 about 6 or 7 years ago. You can't even do that now. Prices for cars, second-hand cars, have really gone through the roof. There was a Sierra Cosworth in my area as a teen. Was nice. Sierra Cosworths were the top end. Like if you had a Sierra Cosworth, you were the daddy round the estates and everything. Oh yeah. Del Boy's Robin Reliant. Saying that, there was a discussion a couple of years ago about them doing the Del Boy Robin Reliant. It was brought up, and I remember the company saying they didn't think there was a lot of interest in it. I think there would be, but it is what it is, I think. Done that Subaru Impreza many years ago. Yeah, that one. And like I said, the Lancia Delta as well, the Rally Lancia Delta they did as well. And they both never really brought back out again. I think that they would definitely need. Yeah, drove an Escort Cosworth many years ago. Wow, yeah, a nice short wheelbase Quattro. Yeah, the Audi Quattro. Yeah, from the 80s. Another. See, they did these rally cars. They did like I said, the Lancia Delta and the Subaru Impreza. They must have done. They must have done the Quattro as well, because that was like in that sort of area. There was a Ford as well. I can't remember what the Ford was. It was very sleek looking. I can't remember what it was now. My dad had an XJ6. Yeah, yeah. All these sort of 80s cars they need to do now. The Jag, all that sort of stuff. There's an abundance of cars I think that would really do well. Two tank intakes, lovely. A Metro, yeah. I remember the Metros, Austin Metros, weren't they? And then they became the Rover Metros, and I think you also got an MG version as well, didn't you? Which was like the better of them, if you know what I mean. I know that Austin Metro was awful, absolutely awful, and the Rover was just rebadged. But I think the MG version was like the sportier, nicer version. The Citroen AX GTI, yeah, now you're talking. Yeah, we love our French cars in this house. My wife's had an AX. We've had a ZX, a Xantia. Do you know what the Xantia was probably a really nice was actually a really nice car. We've had a Picasso. Yep. Yeah, we've had a few Citroens. We've also had a few Renaults as well. Laguna, Clio, Espace. We've had a few Espaces. So I almost bought the Tommy RC Audi Quattro during my London trip. Money was a bit tight though. Always is. Channel always awards an Audi Quattro growing up. Yeah, yeah. Get some of those sort of the touring cars or the rally cars. I think there's a real market there for part works that they're missing, isn't they? They're just missing. There's like all these classic cars they should be bringing out. Not the real classics, like the 2CV. You know, there's that and the Mustang. They seem to just bring out every sort of variant. I see they're also bringing the new Beetle out as well in France. I think they've just started releasing that one as well. But they really should be doing. They really should be doing more of the sort of 80s, 90s cars. I think because I would definitely build a lot of these. I would have to. I don't know. I'd have to put shelves up here or something and just have loads of these cars because that would be cool, wouldn't it? If I could drive, I would like a Citroen CX Safari. Banjo of a car. Yeah, BXs. I think I haven't. Well, a friend of mine had a BX. For a number of years, we were in the Citroen Owners Club with the Xantia, and back then when we had the Xantia, when was it? I think it was 2006 until like 2008, 2009, 10. We had it. I think it was 2010 actually. It died, but back then you could get them. And I remember changing the hydraulic cylinders on them and stuff like that. That was when my job was in mechanics and stuff like that. And I did a lot of work on it. And now they're like gold dust. You cannot buy a Xantia anywhere. And I'll tell you what, my wife loved it because of the ride and the hydraulic suspension. You could hit a speed bump at 30 and you wouldn't even feel it. You literally wouldn't feel it. It's the strangest feeling. Hitting potholes and stuff like that in a Xantia, you wouldn't feel them because of the hydraulic suspension. The modern classics are being missed. Yeah, massively. Yeah, definitely. They're on my list sometime. I did have a TA01 chassis Sierra Cosworth. Yeah, lots of these. They were modified as well. There was also the Lancia Colton. Do you remember that? So Vauxhall Colton. And they did a Lancia engine in it, and they were like the Cosworth of sort of the Vauxhalls. But they did like a limited run on them. Before I get my license, I had a big wait for the Cologne G6. All right, okay. I had an MG Racing Green. The overdrive was a switch on the dashboard. Overdrive. Do you remember years ago? I was trying to tell my kids this. That in some cars, do you remember, there used to be something called a choke. So if you couldn't start it, you pulled the choke to start it. Do you remember that? Or I think there was on some cars as well, there was like a push button on the floor that you pushed down to start it. Yeah. I'm probably showing my age a little bit here. But so I remember all them in cars, and then it all went, and yeah, you got to think the French, even though everyone hates these cars, I never hate the French cars, love them. They were real innovators. So they were the first ones to do head-up displays on their vehicles to make them standard. They were the first ones to do alloy wheels standard. They were the first ones to do keyless entry standard, the French cars. So yeah, Lancia Coltons, yeah. Yep. Lotus. I'm not saying Lancia, no, it's Lotus Colton. They were amazing, yeah. They were, yeah. The car hit 170. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. My foster dad had an Opel and a Mazda. Yeah, remember the old Mazda MX-5. That's another one that I reckon that would do quite well as a part work. It's a little car. It's soft top. You could do them as a hard top as well. But a Mazda MX-5, something. Yep, yep. The choke was my mum's friend in a Triumph Herald. Drove my dad nuts as it kept pulling out. Yeah, yeah. You have to hold it or something while you try starting it in the morning. Cold starts. But yeah, I think all these part works are missing a beat with all of this. Absolutely beat, because there's so many that they could do. Now they do loads of car part works in places like in Russia and Germany, in Italy and in France, especially in France, but nothing here. They even do part work like buses and lorries of different eras, different times, as well in those countries, but nothing here. I mean, I always said I've done the Route Master. Now, if they did another one, like an MLW double decker, or the British Leyland single decker, anything like that from like the 90s, yeah, I'd do that. They're cool. They were cool, especially if they were big size as well. But yeah, I just think that they're missing out. I think the problem is that there's a little market here. Over in places like France and Italy and Germany, the market's bigger. Obviously, there's more people there. The market's bigger. Here in the UK, the market for part works is still very small. It's a very niche market, and I think that's what puts a lot of people off. Beetle also started in Germany recently. Yeah, it was Germany and France, I think. Is that the blue one, isn't it? It's the blue one. They brought out a classic tractor in Italy by Hash. Exactly, that they're bringing out all these stuff, but it's never here. It's never here. And they need to do more English stuff. Maybe with companies like Agora, there may be. But at the moment, I think Agora are mainly trying to stick all of their fingers in all the pies, I think, at the moment with other companies, which is okay because it gives us the ability to have part works available over here that we didn't have before, or again, you know, things like the Route Master and stuff like that. Companies, in my opinion, for older generation, they forget the younger generation that are into the 80s. Yeah, yeah. Modelling is always seen as a sort of old man, sort of retirement sort of thing. You know, you retire, you build your model railway, or you go along, you build model ships and stuff like that. And I think there's a bit of a stigma in that. And I think there's a lot of young people that build part works and who build and stuff like that. But yeah, maybe that's because, yeah, you might be right there. You might be right. Yeah, 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 stuff like that. Like, you know, they've done the Route Master and that's done very well over here. I spoke to someone though, and they said it didn't do as well as the company was hoping, which is a shame. But yeah, the Beetle was the people's car, commissioned by Nazi Party at the time. Yes, it was. Yeah, yeah. They paid a certain amount, didn't they, for a car they never received. I've seen many documentaries on the Beetle. Yeah, everyone could afford it. It was like you had a stamp book, didn't you? And I think it was like it's equivalent to like, I don't know, a couple of quid for a stamp. Once it was all full, you got your Beetle. But no, I don't think anyone actually did, because they all used it for the war effort. So it was like a ploy, wasn't it, to supply, to sort of build up the war thing. And I don't think anyone actually got one, if I remember rightly. And then after the war, it was one of the cars they mass produced, and it done ridiculously well all over the world. But yeah, it does have its it's sort of linear in that time. But yeah, and there's that as well. What about now? I see all these names, but everyone's forgetting about a car, and that is the Golf GTI. Yeah, who would like? A Mark II Golf GTI. Mark II Golf GTI. A Mark Ones. I think they were the rounded headlights, wasn't it? The Mark One, and then you had the Mark Two, which had the sort of the blockier sort of stuff. I mean, even in places like Germany and stuff like that, they release things like larders. Larders were over here, and they were awful. Same with the Morris Minors. I remember they had the engine in the back of the Morris Minors, if I remember rightly. And I remember they said they had the heated window so you could keep your hands warm when pushing it because it was that bad. A Gold GTI, yeah. And not only that, I mean, they could even do modern day cars like the new Ford Focus. I mean, the Ford Focus RS 500, all that sort of stuff. I think there's a market for it, and I think that would bring in more young people to it as well. I think it would bring more young people into the part work or into model making, really. Yes, the Golf GTI, yeah. Partner had a green Golf, Mark II Golf. Yeah. You want a Mark II GTI. Never thought much of the Mark One, but the Mark II GTI, we had one. Or was that the Mark? I think it was a Mark III one we had. Black Golf GTI, lovely. Except the clutch cable kept slipping and coming out all the time. That was annoying. Yeah. An Evo. Yeah, definitely. Evo 10. You've obviously said 7 and 8 there. Yeah, you got 7 and 8. All those sort of cars. Easy to mod as well for Fast and Furious because there was a lot of cars in that. One car my wife said that she would love, and that was a car that we had recently, actually, and that was our PT Cruiser. Not the most desirable car. It was horrible to turn. This turning circle was worse than a double-decker bus. But a PT Cruiser was, yeah, lovely. We loved the PT Cruiser. It was like the hot rod, modern hot rod. Love to do one like that. FTO, yeah, GTO as well. Yeah, definitely an FTO. Yeah, wasn't that? I think that was one that you wanted. That one that you wanted. Yeah, that was the one car my wife always wanted, and it was always out of reach. But a lot of those cars were imports, which meant you had to pay more insurance on them. So things like the Evo, FTO, the Subaru Impreza, all that sort of stuff were all imports, which meant you had to pay more on insurance, if I remember rightly. Brilliant update. Thank you, Kev. Have to go. Thumbs up. Well done. Thank you very much. To make another 1.6. Yeah. A single decker or a coach. Yeah. Some of those iconic ones are really nice. FTO was a nice looking car. Yeah, my wife really, really wanted one. The PT Cruiser is right. Okay. Do you know what? We had one, and my wife instantly loved it. And she said the only problem was the turning, and it was they're such a niche car because they look completely different from any other car on the road. They have this massive grille at the front. It's got a very hot rod look. It has bigger wheels at the back and the front, so it sits sort of like this. And not many people had them. And every time we would go past another cruiser, put a little hand up like you do. Hey, look, there's another cruiser. That's what we used to do. Nuts, man. Nuts. Excellent stream. Have to go. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you. See you later. Yeah. So there's all this. Anyway, look, I've been rabbiting on. Brian's read F. Nightly from Fast and Furious. Yeah. There was PT Cruisers in Fast and Furious. There was 2 in the second movie. 2 Fast and Furious. There was 2. Yeah. Thumbs up for tonight. Yeah. I am out of here. Thank you all for joining us. We've got Robocop and Alien coming up this week. We've got some wrestling videos coming up. Gaming live video on Friday. Come and join us for that. I'm doing World of Tanks. So if you don't know what that is, or you know what that is, it's me in a tank shooting at other tanks. Brilliant game. That'll be on Friday. And that's it. So yeah, thank you lots for joining us. It's been absolutely wonderful. We will see you next week. Until then, take it easy, and we'll see you at the next video.